Hey, good afternoon, everyone. This is Sami Abu Saad from the Black Room. It's been a while. Hope everybody's been doing well and that you had a nice weekend. Happy Monday afternoon. Just wanted to come on and do a short video for you to talk about probably what I would consider the single most important skill that we as technicians need to have. And that skill, one can call it uh, being proactive or forecasting. And here's what I mean. Um, Anybody can, just about, anybody with any kind of education can analyze charts after the fact, can say, oh, this is a whatever, a pullback to the rising 20, almost like a W pattern, then a base, then a breakout, then another pullback to the rising 20, and then we got bought. People that analyze charts after the fact are a dime a dozen, honestly. It's easy after the fact, right? That's why hindsight is, we say it's 2020. But what you need to do is to be able to forecast or to be able to predict, so to speak, what the market is about to do. Okay, and if you can't, sometimes objectively you can't. I mean, objectively, then to step aside and to tell yourself that, hey, there is something not right, but I can't quite wrap my arms around it. I don't quite understand it, and I'm gonna step aside. Excuse me. I'm gonna sit on hands and not take trades. That's fine too. But let me just show you something about the market, the breakdown. Now, if you look at the market here, I use the 20 period moving average, simple, the 200 also, and that's about it. And this is the daily chart of the QQQ, which is the tracking ETF for the NASDAQ 100. If I were to ask you, is this bullish or bearish? I mean, back here or there or here, I would say all out bullish. 45-degree 20 MA, right at support, bullish, no doubt. Then why did the market break down today? Why did we get the gap down and the sell-off? Well, let me show you what we've been discussing in the black room for a couple weeks now, maybe, is the divergence. If you look at the weekly chart, this is the weekly time frame, the Qs. Look at the Qs, guys. Made new all-time highs, right? Look at the moving average. Is the moving average tracking the price? It isn't. It's mostly flat. That's called divergence, right? Take a look at the distance between the moving average and price. It's like a Pac-Man thing, right? And it's even more pronounced, or more pronounced in the SPY. Look at this. SPY making new highs here. This high here is higher than the prior high. Moving average is pointing down, flat or pointing down. So that's divergence into resistance. Easy to see why the market dropped. Now, truth be told, I had a hard time figuring out whether we were going to pull back or not. I mean, I could see the divergence, discussed it every single day in the black room, but look at that Q's rising 20 and the 40, and look at how price respected the moving average. Hasn't been able to break under it at all. Yeah, this whole time. So it's a tough call. The last two times we gapped down, we got bought both times. So, but there was one thing that kind of tipped me off or gave me the heads up that the market should be topping. And what was it? It's an old trick that I use. It's not a trick, but it's an observation from experience. If you're not sure about the market and you're thinking that it might be pulling back, just check the high flyers, the stocks that have been rallying the most. What are they doing and ask yourself, what are they doing at the moment? And see if they're still getting bought or if they started already breaking. If they've already started breaking down, then you know selling has already started, and those are the ones that lead the market. So on the way up, they lead. On the way down, they also lead. So that should be your heads up, basically. Look at the MED, which is probably the most climactic chart I've ever seen. Not really, but it's one of them. For sure, this is the monthly time frame. One of the most climactic stocks out there. Look what it did. This is 3 days ago. Okay? Look at what else? MDGL started breaking down 3 days ago. Look at the larger time frames. Way up there. Weekly, way up there. ALGN, another thing that I'm in short, started breaking down 4 red bars in a row now. Now, why is this? Why did I expect this to break down? Look at the larger time frames, and you see why. Look at the monthly, climactic, weekly, climactic. Very hard for me to short an uptrend like this on the daily chart because you got the rising 20 right below. And that's actually why I didn't do the Netflix today, NFLX, even though I wish I did it because it had that rising 20 below. I already have the other ones that I mentioned all short. Actually, here's my P&L. Let's see. This is my swing account. See, MDGL, 100 shares, but that's just today, $1,600. ALGN, 150 shares, $1,000. Etsy also is a high flyer, broke down today. I don't know where the other one was. Med, but didn't didn't move much today. But look, I'm in it from 162.50, so a few days ago. I missed the top on the MED. I missed the top because I didn't see it when it broke down. I had it on a watch list, but I didn't think it was ready. And so I ended up getting it on a 15-minute sell setup later that day. So does that make sense? So I hope that makes sense. You have never forget what the name of the business we're in, what it is. And the name of the business is speculation. We're in the business of speculating on what's yet to come. You can't be called a speculator if you're always speculating on something that's already happened. You'd be called Captain Hindsight, right? And those are honestly a dime a dozen. And it just the most important thing is it doesn't pay to speculate on what already happened, right? It's almost an oxymoron to speculate on something that already happened. So you always want to be thinking. You always want to be a step ahead. You always want to be thinking about what's yet to come, because that's how you can take advantage of plays. And if you're not sure, then you just say, okay, well, I can tell there's something wrong. I can tell I can easily see that divergence, right? The market should pull back, but then maybe the rising 20 on the daily chart, let's just say kept you from shorting, which is something that usually keeps me, scares me off. Right? Then okay, fine, step aside. And for the most part, I did, except the high flyers, the ones that, because that was the thing that told me the market was probably dropping. Does that make sense? That's my signal, those high flyers. And hopefully I caught the top on some of these at least. Hopefully I did, because if I did, then they're gonna, if this is truly the top, where's this going? If this was truly the top, where's the next support area? Down here. We'll talk about it. We'll see in the future, in a month or two from now, where this stock is trading at. MED, all of them. ALGN. What else did I show you? Etsy. What else? MDGL, ALGN. Here's the MDGN. So we'll see. But if they end up working, they should be huge plays. These are all, what I showed you, the swing account, day trading account. I can show you my day trading account. Oops. Just close out of these. And then here it is. What I showed you was the swing account, and those swing plays are I call for the strategic swing trader. You might have heard of it. It's a swing trading program that I run. I'm actually going to be teaching the course for that on Saturday. If you're interested in swing trading, here's my P&L for on Friday, 4,000 bucks. That's pretty good. Day trading, I do it in sterling, but my swing trading, I do it with IB. I wasn't going to really talk about the day trades today. There isn't a whole lot. Actually, there's one little thing I'd like to talk about, which is the CPB. I just want to show you this because we often, if you watch my videos, you know that I trade gaps, right? And I focus on professional and novice gaps, mostly professional. But was this a novice or a professional gap today on the CPB? Would you say this was professional or novice? Now remember, professional means it's a surprise gap. Professional gap ups, a professional gap up usually comes after a red bar. So you get a like KMX on Friday. See a red bar, and then if it gaps the next day, it traps people, right? That's a professional gap. Those are the good ones. CN today was a professional gap. I lost money on it because it didn't follow through. When the market falls apart, even really good professional gaps fail. I think I lost. I mean, I know I did. CN. I lost a couple of $100. But how about the CPB? Was that professional coming after a green bar? And the answer is no. If it's not professional, if it's novice, then why didn't it come in? Because novice gaps fade. They typically close the gap. They fill the gap. They fade. Why did it rally? Because if a stock gaps, even if it's a novice gap, if it gaps up on a day when the market is gapping down a lot, that stock has relative strength. In the case of CPB, it had extreme relative strength. Does that make sense? So you don't really want to treat a gap up on when the market is gapping down a huge amount. You don't want to look at something that's gapping up and look at it as a short, because that stock is basically telling you, I am really, really bullish. The entire market is gapping down and I'm gapping up. So don't short me. Does that make sense? Even though the technical picture you might have thought, well, this is novice, and you would have been right in your analysis. We have multiple green bars, right, away from the 20, which means it's extended, gapping to resistance. You might have thought, well, this is novice, let's go ahead and short it. And there was, I mean, the technical picture was novice, but simply due to the extreme relative strength, the CPB got bought rather than got sold. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. If you're interested in learning more about technical analysis, check out the Black Room, but also if you're interested in taking education, then reach out to our customer service. It just depends on what you want. Day trading, right, versus swing trading. Talk to us and I'm sure they'll help you out. Talk to the customer service team that we have at T3 Live. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed today's discussion, and I will talk to you soon. Take care, everyone. Have a great rest of the week.